What is up, everybody? My name is Nicolett and we are back at it again with another video for you guys. Today's topic discussion is going to be broken down into two parts. First is going to be the story time, and then the second part is going to be the actual lesson that I learned. Today we are going to talk about a big lesson that I learned while on my second trip to New York ever. I just want to talk to you guys about this story and kind of, just show you guys a different maybe method of thinking moving forward, especially as senior year is coming to a close for a lot of teenagers. Just a different method of thinking as you are choosing your career path, because this particular lesson I learned when I was like 18 or 19 years old, and it really changed the trajectory of my thought process moving forward. So the story starts back when I was about 19 years old. The very first time that I went to New York, I was 18, went with a great friend of mine and her family and my aunt, and I had a wonderful time. And ever since I went, I just was obsessed. I was so obsessed, and I hadn't flown before, so that was the first time that I flew anywhere. And about 6 months to 9 months later, I decided, I want to go again. And I went again with my boyfriend, and it was a spectacular time. Anybody knows Sean, they know that Sean is a talker. He will start a conversation with nearly anybody, and it's just a gift that he has that I don't have, if I see someone on the streets, it's like high and by, I'm not one to break my back to talk to someone. But he is. So in this particular story, we were in New York for, about 5 days, I would say. And I don't remember exactly where we were heading off to, but we were heading off to somewhere, and we were just walking around. And we were going block by block by block, and there was a guy who was within our cluster of people who was also traveling with us block by block to who knows where we were going. And we stop at one of the lights or one of the crosswalks, and when we stop, we all kind of looked up at this hotel. It was an older hotel, and on the side of the hotel, it had a painting that said that the hotel rooms were 10 cents. Obviously, the hotel rooms were not for 10 cents, something that was probably from the 20s or something that, they had painted it on and kind of kept its historical value to it. So the guy looks at us and he just kind of cracks a joke of just oh man, I wish hotel rooms were only 10 cents, And we kind of looked at him and we're like, yeah, dude, could you imagine, because we're thinking to ourselves, we just spent who knows how much money on our hotel room. This is really a treat, that would be really a treat. And this guy is about 50 years old. He's wearing a gray suit, it's about it. All the description I can give you. And, we go another block as we kind of chat, small talk, and Sean gets to asking hey, what kind of work do you do? And the guy was just I'm a jeweler. I sell gemstones. I sell gems and jewels. And we were like, all right, cool, I guess, we had never really heard of a guy who sells gems or jewels, so we just were like, yeah, that's cool, that sounds like a dope job. And then he just kind of looks at us and he was like, do you want to come to my office? And I kind of looked at Sean no, we don't know this dude, we're in New York City, I don't know what the hell this guy's about to do to us. And Sean was just like, sure, yeah, let's go. And I just was looking at him what did we just agree on? We cannot be going to this random guy's house, apartment, freaking office. Who knows? We don't know. His office could be his house. We don't know. So we walk a few more blocks. He's like, we're not too far, just a few blocks away, And I was like, okay, let's go, I guess. So I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I know I have someone with me, so I'm hoping that things go smooth. And so we get to his office, and sure enough, it is an office building, but it's a very high security building, and we have to check in, write our names. He has to add a code to get in, glass doors, all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking where is this man taking us? We go up the elevator, I forget what floor we were on, and then we get led to his office, and when he opens the door, his office is the size of a closet space. So small. I'm thinking, I don't know what we're doing in this office, but okay, let's see. And he ended up being such a nice guy. And he just started breaking down like how he got into the business, and he just whipped out all of his jewels, telling us like, this is worth so many 100,000, this one's worth this many 100,000, this one's worth a few million. And he brought out his little magnifier, and he broke down and he like held all these jewels that were various sizes, from like the size of dust, it seemed like, to larger, and showed us what the inside of these, you know, gems looked like, and the kaleidoscope of colors that came with them, and how these like little specks would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they weren't perfect. They were imperfect stones at that point. And it was such an intriguing thing to look at. Like, if you've never seen a gem up close, I definitely suggest like trying to figure out someone that you can see them with, because they are really, really, really incredible. But the point of the story was, as we were talking to him and he was telling us his story, he said that, you know, the biggest reason why he got into doing jewelry was because he could take his jewels wherever and he could have an income, basically. So long as he had his jewels, he could sell them wherever and make a profit from them. He could go to a different country, he could go to a different state, and so long as he had them with him, he could make money. And I remember thinking about that back then and being like, that is a big deal. That is a very big deal, because so many people, you know, hurry to get into these jobs, and like, it's great to be in this job, but at the same time, once you lose that job, you know, where do you go? You know, like, you could go to a different state and try and find a job, but it's not something that per se is as stable as if you have a craft, if you have a skill, or you have a trade. And so that really stuck with me, and I think like photography is something that really proved its point over the years of just like, I moved from Houston to here and I have made income. I've gone to other states, and while I would go to New York, I would also find clients there and be able to make money there. And it was something that just, it clicked, and from that point on, I really have just kind of kept that in my head of like, maintain skills that can be used wherever it is that you go. So now we're going to jump into the part 2 of this video. I hope you guys like this first part of the story. The second part will be out on Saturday, and once it's already out, I'll go ahead and link it down below so that you guys can watch it and see what I'm trying to get at with this whole thing. But in the meantime, thank you guys again for watching this story, and don't forget to tune in to the part 2.